Here. Hello, YouTube. Live on Instagram and YouTube simultaneously. I am going to be talking about motivation today. How to create it, how to make the most of it, all that good stuff. Motivation tips. First, order of business. Productivity Power, of course. If you are on the wait list, I just emailed out your access link and your discount code. $100 off. If you are not on the wait list and you want that discount, there is a link in the description on YouTube and in my bio on Instagram. There is still a small bit of time left for you to sign up. Yeah, anyway, now that that's out of the way, I will hop into the motivation tips. Make sure that you are, hopping in the chat and stuff, and I will, as usual, come back to all of your comments and questions at the end. How is everyone? Are you feeling motivated this week? I am literally surviving on 1 hour sleep right now. So times are good. Times are good. Okay, my first tip for you. It is what is called chunking. Essentially, what it means is that you have to break things down into chunks, because if your brain is trying to think of an entire goal or an entire project or something like that, you're trying to get you're trying to get yourself motivated to take on a large task or to take on something that you don't really need or want to do. My brain, the 1 hour sleep. Your brain sees the project or the goal in its entirety, and it starts to try and calculate how much work it's going to require, how much motivation it's going to need, how much time it's going to take, everything, energy, concentration, willpower, all of those things. And it freaks out and it thinks, yeah, I can't do that, because it's kind of assuming that you're going to do it in all one go. If you're thinking about a particular project, a large project or a large goal, your brain will just see that as one thing. So you chunk it down. Instead of thinking, I need to, achieve this goal, you think, for the next 60 minutes, I'm not going to check my phone. Or for today, I am going to drink at least 8 glasses of water, whatever it may be. Breaking your goals down into chunks will help with the motivation, because you feel much more motivated to do a tiny little chunk than you do like an entire task. Your brain will compute how much motivation you will need to do the entire task, and that's when it will start to freak out, and that's when it will start to resist. So break it down into a little chunk so there is minimal resistance, and that's much easier to feel motivated about a much smaller task. So chunking, that is your first tip. Second one then is create very close deadlines for yourself. Again, if something is very far away, it's really hard to maintain motivation over a long period of time. Motivation is so fleeting as it is. And even when you've built up a little bit of motivation, it doesn't stick around forever. It comes and goes. So breaking it down into much smaller tasks and giving yourself those small little wins along the way, not only does it help build some momentum, builds a little bit of confidence, but it also builds your motivation. When you finish a task, when you get a little pat on the back, you're much more likely to want to keep going, because you're getting that kind of instant gratification, you're getting that reward feeling. So give yourself really close deadlines. I like to call it the finish line feeling. When you see runners and they're like running a marathon or some long race, I don't know how people do it. I hate running, but they're really tired. They think they can't go on. And you've probably noticed this as well. If you have ever run a race, you think like, I'm not going to make it. Like I can't breathe. This is awful. I'm in pain. And then you see the finish line, and all of a sudden you sprint. You just get that burst of motivation and that burst of energy again. So give yourself those finish lines that you can see, or that you will be able to see very soon, like very early on in the process. And that can really help as well to build your motivation, because if you're just slogging away at some endless task and you don't know where the dead or where the finish line is, or it's just like it's not on your radar anytime soon, it's not on the horizon, it's going to be really difficult, pretty much impossible to maintain motivation over that period of time. So you need to create it by giving yourself a finish line that you can either see right now or that you know that you will see very soon, and give yourself that burst, that little sprint at the end. So, tip number three, then, I hope everyone is um, finding these helpful, finding them valuable. Like I said, I'll hop in and answer any questions or comments or anything at the end. The third one then is not just keeping your why in mind. I know a lot of people will say, remember your why, go back to your motivations, like your deep personal motivations. But if you have been around here for a while, you will have heard me talk about, to what end are you doing something? Keeping the end in mind, like the outcome, rather than the why. Because if you're like me, you can come up with a why for everything. You can come up with a good, valid reason for doing pretty much anything. But to what end are you doing it? Keeping the end goal in mind and keeping reminders of that nearby, around your desk or wherever you tend to work. So, maybe you're looking forward to traveling again. You could put a picture of a holiday destination, something like that, hanging up, even just a picture on your phone that you can look at. It can also be good to, you know, kind of leave yourself little reminders around the house, even. So, not just reminders of what you are aiming for necessarily, but also how you are going to get there, giving yourself all of those easy little nudges so that you don't really have to build up the motivation. You'll see something and you'll just think, oh, yeah, I should do that, or oh yeah, it's time to do that. So like leaving your workout clothes beside your bed so that when you wake up in the morning, your reminder is right there, like, oh yeah, time to work out. It can be really easy to overlook certain things, just forget, let the day run away with you. So leaving those little reminders of what you are supposed to be doing, and then also the reminders of what you are aiming for, what the end goal will be, that can be really motivating, because when you see something, a picture of something, a vision board, a mood board, something like that, when you can actually visualize it, and I would incorporate that in your kind of reminders, like really picture it in your head, because when you can see it, when you can taste it almost, you are much more likely to fight for it. You will fight harder for it because you can almost reach out and touch it. It's so close. Again, the close finish line. So leave up those reminders of the end goal that you're working towards. Okay, tip number four then. And again, this is kind of a twist on what you would normally hear. Normally, people would say, get yourself inspired, listen to upbeat music or something, watch a motivational video, here is a Pinterest board of a whole bunch of motivational quotes. I would say, yes, that's great. But sometimes we overuse those things to the point where they lose their effect. If you've got a Pinterest board, and I do, listen, but if you've got a whole bunch of motivational quotes and you're just looking at them all the time, they're going to lose their effect. They're going to lose their power, particularly if there are lots of them and you're just kind of hopping from one to another and nothing really stands out to you. You really need to give yourself something that is going to be the big push that you need. So it's really easy to think, oh yeah, this great motivational video that I've watched, I'll just watch that the next time I'm feeling a little bit unmotivated. But if you're watching that every day, it's not going to work anymore. I have a video that I watch. I've shared it before. It's called Unbroken. I only watch it in the direst of circumstances. Like if I need a kick up the arse right now, I watch it. Unbroken. It's excellent. It's really good. It's about 6-ish minutes long, I think. I watch it probably once or twice a year when things are really bad. And every time I watch it, it has the same effect on me because I'm not overusing it. So surround yourself with inspiration, but save the big guns for the the times you really, really need them. You can have lots of little inspirational things around you, but over time, they're going to lose their effect. So you need to mix things up. But yeah, that's my video. There's another actually, that scene in Legally Blonde. Has anyone seen Legally Blonde? One of my favorite films of all time. Where she does the whole, I'll show you how valuable Elwoods can be. That's another go-to for me. I rewatched that scene anytime I need like a little bit of a kick. What's another one actually? The opening credits for The Devil Wears Prada. I know it's kind of supposed to be slightly mocking of the clackers and how women get all dressed up and, they're really into their appearance. But the opening credits where everyone is like, realize they're up, they're ready, they're good to go for work and they all look great. For me, I mean, I sit around in my pajamas most days. No, I don't actually. I'm pretty good at getting dressed. I'll wear the same clothes every day for a week, but still dressed. I did wear pajamas yesterday and the day before, but needs must. So yeah, inspiration sources. Keep yourself a list of all of those things and have, like I said, the heavy hitters. Save those for the times that you really, really need them. And then my last tip then, and I'll come back to like comments and questions then, is to do regular reviews. It gets really easy when you're in the middle of something to feel like you're getting nowhere or the finish line is too far away. You tend to focus on like how far you have left to go instead of how far you have actually come. So doing a little regular review, sitting down and asking yourself, okay, where did I start? How far have I come? What progress have I made? What have I learned along the way? Do I need to course correct? That's a really good one because very often you can start off somewhere with the intention of hitting a certain destination, but over time you can get thrown off course like just the teeny tiniest bit, but over time you'll end up somewhere completely different. Whereas if you had stopped to review regularly and course correct, even if you're kind of like, whoop, 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 you will eventually get there, seeing that you're making progress and that you're still on track towards your goal, that you're still making progress towards your destination. That can be really helpful. But not only that, sometimes along the way, you realize that the destination that you thought you wanted, like the place you thought you wanted to be, is not the place you wanted to be. Your priorities have changed. You've seen something else somewhere along the way, something has caught your eye. You just reevaluate. And that's what reviews help you to do. Number one, keep going in the right direction if that's the destination you still want, but also to realize before it's too late and you put too much time and energy into something that you may actually prefer to go somewhere else and to move in a different direction. So keeping regular reviews in mind, doing regular evaluations of where you are. Are you still on track? Do you still want to reach this destination, or are you just now wasting time and it would be much better for you to like veer off down a side street and go somewhere else? Sometimes diversions make for better destinations. Okay, that's my spiel for the day. Thank you so much for being here. You can see everyone on Instagram has joined. Hello. Marianne says, just started raining hard here, blah, weather not helping to get motivated. Yeah. Can't help you there. I mean, grew up in Ireland, so if I can be motivated, anyone can. No, yeah, that is hard. It's really hard to be motivated on days when it's dreary and dull outside. I hear you. I find it much harder to get up in the winter, even if I'm not getting up like any earlier than I normally would. But the fact that it's dark, and when it gets dark early, like all you want to do is go to bed or just like curl up. Brightness and sunshine definitely has a big impact, certainly on my motivation and my energy levels. Anytime I go somewhere sunny, I end up like naturally waking up at about 5 and 6 in the morning, just because it's so bright outside, and I'm happy to get out in the sunshine and the warmth. But yeah, winter, darkness, dreariness, gloominess, gray clouds, they do nothing for me. I have to just like figure out all these other ways that I can improve my motivation. So in case you didn't realize, like all the past few live streams I have done, they have all essentially been like a particular section or a particular module from the Productivity Power Up course. So if you have found value in any of these live streams, you're definitely going to want to hop all over that because this is like, these are little tasters of what the course is like. And it also says, I'm not motivated, too cold. Harriet, I'm not motivated, too tired. Listen, 1 hour of sleep, people, and I am still going. I actually don't feel too bad at all. My reactions are a little bit slower. It takes me a little bit longer to process things. Sometimes I have to stop and say, what do I need to do right now? Like, what is the next step here? But yeah, I'm still, after this, I'm going to go sleep. But um, Claire says, I'm really struggling with motivation right now and feel a disorganized mess. It really starts again with those like teeny tiny tasks, building your motivation through achievement. Achievement is basically the mother of motivation. If you can get something done and feel a sense of satisfaction, that is going to build your enthusiasm and is going to build your energy and your motivation. So give yourself a little task. Take something small off your list, like clearing all the dirty dishes out of the sink or putting on a load of laundry. Those really small tasks that don't require a massive amount of energy, but you just feel so good when they're done. That's what you need to hop all over, or sleep, depending on whether your motivation is because, of tiredness. But yeah, if you feel disorganized, I would say pick a tiny little organization project for yourself, like a little junk drawer or a really good one. This is the one I always recommend for starting off: your nightstand, your bedside locker, your bedside table, whatever you want to call it, because it is one of the first things you see when you wake up in the morning, and it's one of the last things you see at night. So when you wake up and see your nightstand is neat and tidy and organized, gives you a little bit of a boost. Same thing, last thing at night. If that's the last thing you see, if the last thing you see or one of the last things you see is a nice, neat, organized space, that can help you sleep a lot better as well. So that if you're looking for like a really quick win that is going to build your motivation, that I would highly recommend that. Elizabeth says, I think giving myself smaller goals has been helpful. Like 30 minutes on Christmas cards helped me get about 20 cards out in about 11 days. Each one had a nice message inside and were all mailed. Yeah. Giving yourself those little wins along the way, setting timers. That's another great one. Is anyone doing the Christmas challenge? My Christmas challenge? So close to the end now, but it's been so fun. I love doing it every year. Thank you for all of your messages. If you have replied to one of them, I really do appreciate that. I think I've managed to get back to most of them, but I have about 300 unread emails in my inbox right now, so bear with me. Let me see. Elizabeth continues on then, but I agree it was hard to get motivation to go to the post office for the final cards that were oversized or overseas. Yeah, but again, like getting it done, just kind of sucking it up and getting it done first thing in the morning, particularly if you can just get out and get it done and then have a nice coffee, bagel, whatever, reward yourself. Jennifer Martin says, holy moly, 5 minutes late and I missed 3 tips. The replay will be on YouTube. You missed the best ones though. The first 3 were the best 3. No, the replay will be available, so you can go back and watch it, catch up on the first 5 minutes. Elizabeth says, I always end up rewatching these because I usually miss the first 10 minutes myself, even with the reminder. Yeah, people hop on all the time. I always, when I start my live streams, I just dive straight into it because you can't just wait for everyone to show up, I feel. I've watched too many live streams where the first like 5 or 10 minutes is just somebody waiting for everyone to show up. And I get that if you're not going to be keeping a replay or anything, but I always keep the replay up on YouTube so you can go back and rewatch it to your heart's content. Jenny says, I finally got the addresses from my husband for the Christmas cards. How I'm so stressed to send them out late. I'm just avoiding the task. Don't send them. I don't send Christmas cards. Nobody's going to hate you because of it. If it's really stressing you out, why do it? Honestly, I mean, dig deep and ask yourself why you're sending out these Christmas cards. If it's just like out of a sense of obligation or something, don't do it. If you really want to connect with your family and you really want to send them a nice message or something, or let them know that you're thinking of them, then yeah, do it. But examine why you want to send out all of those Christmas cards. I never bother. I never send out Christmas cards. Just one thing I don't want to have to worry about. Um, I keep in touch with people. Anyone I care about, I keep in touch with, like through phone calls, text messages, emails, DMs. Um, Obviously, not so much seeing them in person anymore, but yeah. So I don't think, as far as I know, nobody despises me because I don't send them a Christmas card. Lisa Lat says, I want better habits, and I started with just one. I pushed myself in the beginning. It was hard, but then it became automatic. Then I added more and more better habits. Yeah, that's kind of a great way to do it as well is called habit stacking, where you pick a habit that is already ingrained, like brushing your teeth or getting a morning coffee or something, and adding another habit onto that, another really small habit. Making them teeny tiny is a really good way to go because habits are hard enough to implement. So if it's a particularly tough habit, I mean, it's hard to get going there. But if you have something that's teeny tiny and you can get that bit done, and then, like you said, there's a lot kind of build on it from there. But like telling yourself that you're going to work out for an hour every morning, if that's not something that you're used to, that's just too much. That's too much. Start with a small habit, and then you can always build on it. Like you can build on success. That's what I always say. Let me see. Chat keeps jumping on me. Jenny says, if I can't do something perfect, I freeze or avoid the task. Yep. I hear you. 100% perfectionist over here. The way I think of it now, the way that I have managed to overcome a lot of that is thinking of it as progress towards perfection. Like if I want something to be perfect, I have to move in that direction. So that has helped me rather than having a kind of like all or nothing mentality. I think, how can I get there? How can I get to perfect? And that has really helped me. I'm at a stage now where I really embrace my perfectionism. I love it. It's great. Obviously, it has its downsides, but I've managed to kind of work with the upsides much more and focus on those and use it to my advantage as much as I can. Keeps me striving. Let me see. Kathleen says, I no longer stress about sending out Christmas cards. I send out Groundhog's Day cards instead. Wow, cool. People receive lots of cards at this time of year, but one in late January, early February lifts the spirits. That's great. I like that idea. Yeah, that's really nice. Plus the postal service are just like rammed at the minute. So yeah, but that's lovely. Let me see. Jack May or Jace May. Let me know which it is because I want to be able to pronounce it properly because I know that you show up regularly and I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing it properly. Hi Laura, hi all in chat. Just dropped in to wish you all a Merry Christmas from lockdown London. Though it'll be a quiet one as latest crisis here means we can't visit relatives or friends. That sucks. That sucks. I'm really sorry. What a year. What a year. But Merry Christmas to you. I hope it is the merriest it can be in the circumstances. Let me see. Elizabeth says noon naps are the best as an adult. Yeah, well, listen, we got a puppy, so I'm not sure how much napping I'll be able to do, but we'll see. That's the plan. Stephanie says, thank you so much for this video. Just what I needed. You're very welcome. Elizabeth says, sleep is the first victim of my stress. Yeah, I do actually mention that in the course where, from what I have seen, you can boil down a lack of sleep that isn't related to a chronic condition to 3 basic reasons. And one of them is like stress or anxiety. Ned says he's doing the Christmas challenge. He is behind, though. That's fine. I send them out a day early so that people have time to prepare or whatever. But yeah, it's really fine. It's just to kind of give you a guideline or a framework or just kind of some reminders along the way. You don't have to stick to it strictly. Jenny says, hello from Greece. Hello, Greece. How are you? Ned says I get yelled at if I don't send Christmas cards. Blame the postal service. You sent them. Not your fault if they didn't get there. I do not encourage lying. I just say we didn't have time. Or you're trying to help the postal service by not, putting more on their plate. I have a terrible, terrible influence. If you want to send Christmas cards, you go right ahead. I have no problem with it. I love getting Christmas cards. I just don't like sending them, so I don't. I'm a grown up. That's my prerogative. Elizabeth says, this year we can blame COVID for the late delivery. Absolutely. Yep. COVID's fault. It's been a good excuse this year. As an introvert, I've loved that part of it. Like, no, sorry, I can't. COVID. Trying to stay, safe, healthy. Oh goodness, is it ever going to end? Like, is it? Autumn says, I started on Saturday cleaning my room and went across the room cleaning, organizing through just 5 minutes ago. Can't believe I did it. Feels good. Now to keep it that way. Yeah, listen. You need to come to my house. Okay. I have been, first of all, Christmas. How was that this week? How did that happen? No clue. But my house is a disaster right now. I've been so focused on the course, and then the puppy came along, and yeah, it's not a good look right now. Like Christmas decorations, the way you pull out the tubs and the boxes and stuff, and then you decorate, and then all the empty packages and stuff are left lying around. So please tell me that's not just me. Are you the type of person who actually, packs away all the empty tubs and boxes and puts them back, and then only brings them back out when you're packing everything away again? Because that is not me. That's not me. But yeah, my house is a disaster. I'm hoping to have time between now and the new year, because I have to start the new year with a clean house. Yeah, that's just me. Jay Snyder, will you make a video on habit stacking? I certainly could. I think it's a pretty simple concept, though. I'm not sure if I get a whole video out of it. Could I? I'll think on it. Let me hop back to Instagram here and I'll answer some Instagram questions. Marianne says, I find myself avoiding starting large projects, but tend to go for the short ones, which provide quick wins fast. Yeah, but it's just a matter of breaking your large projects down into smaller tasks. I say this in the course, actually, that there's no such thing as a large or big project. There's only lots of little tasks. So that's what you need to do. Every project has multiple steps along the way. So make each step your project, make that your goal, and then give yourself the little wins along the way. I hope that helps. That has helped me, rather than, like I said at the beginning, like the chunking thing, rather than just thinking, yes, I want to do this big, massive thing. I want to do this little tiny thing that is going to get me a step closer to that goal. Let me see. Jenny, hi from Athens. A lot of Greek people here. Greek people. I was going to say people from Greece. You know how things get mixed up. Does anyone do that as well, where you're talking to someone? I spoke to someone once and they were telling me all about their holiday. They were going somewhere on holiday. I can't remember. This is years ago, when that was okay. And the way somebody says, I said, I can't even remember what I said now. Where am I going with this story? But the way someone says, like a waiter brings you your food and they say, enjoy your meal. And you say, you too. And then you're like, oh yeah, the story was the other way around. I was telling them where I was going on holidays. And then they said, enjoy your holiday. And I said, you too. And I was like, oh, the stories I could tell. Yes. Hello to Athens. Sorry, I got totally sidetracked there. Motivation is something that seems to be lacking these days. Yeah, I have a theory about that. This year has been so mentally draining. I think when we think of energy, using energy, we think in terms of physically being active, running around, doing errands, actually some movement involved. But we forget that there is a huge portion of us that is geared towards mental energy. It's like brain power, emotional energy, spiritual energy. that can get drained the same way our bodies can get drained. And I think this year, with all of the changes and not knowing like whether we're coming or going, being very emotionally charged, um, that is where the exhaustion has come in. Um, that's my theory on 2020 and why everyone is just so worn out, even though a lot of people are, spending more time at home, etc. Michelle says I would send New Year's cards. Another good idea. I never send cards for anything. Nothing. You will never get a birthday card from me. You will never get a Christmas card from me. You will get a text message. That's pretty much it. But I do love you. I still love you. Laura says any relationship that depends on receiving a Christmas card from me is a relationship I don't need. I think everyone, just anyone who knows me, just understands that they're not going to get a Christmas card from me. They'll get a gift if they're like, close to me. But no, not with cards. I just can't. I can't be dealing with that. Diane says I make a to-do list, end it with 10 things, then start another 10 item to-do list. When I finish 10 things, I drink. Giving yourself those little rewards along the way. She also follows up and says, it's 2020 still, why not? A cocktail helps. Whatever works. Whatever works. Ballerini says, I put all the decoration boxes in one room and then close the door on the room for the season. That's a good idea. Where could I put them? All downstairs is all open plan for us, so it's kind of annoying. But yeah. Okay, I think I have answered everyone's comments, questions, etc. My plan was to put up a video on Thursday, which is Christmas Eve. I'm now wondering if I should bother. Like, will you be watching videos on Christmas Eve? I do tend to get a lot of views on St. Stephen's Day, the day after Christmas. But yeah, would you watch? Are you going to be watching YouTube videos this week, at some point this week? Also, what do you call it where you are? I call it St. Stephen's Day. I know a lot of people call it Boxing Day, but then I moved over here and I asked somebody when we first moved over, because we moved over in August and it was, so it was coming up to Christmas, and I asked one of the women who worked in the school where Scout was, what they call the day after Christmas. And she just looked at me and she was like, the day after Christmas. Does the US not have a proper name for it? I don't know. I just thought it was so funny just the way she answered. Anyway, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to have a nap. I'm going to eat something. Probably going to watch a few YouTube videos. That's my day. But yes, I hope this was helpful to someone. Helps build up a little bit of motivation. Give yourself those chunks, the finish line feeling, and work up from there. Thank you for being here, everyone. YouTube chat keeps freezing on me. It's very annoying. I keep having to pop it out and pop it back in again to kind of refresh it. Yes, thank you for being here. The replay will be up on YouTube. Productivity Power Up course is live if you're on the wait list. I've sent an access link to you. For everyone else, if you're not on the wait list, there's still some time to get on it. So go to the link. But tomorrow, doors will open for everyone. So keep an eye on socials and stuff. But yeah, discount code $100 went out to waitlist people about half an hour ago. So enjoy. I will speak to you all very, very soon. I will be back next Monday with another live stream. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. See ya.